Hey gang, Tim K here, Pirate Bait Company. Welcome back to the shop. Today we are going to build, this is actually the third build of the summer prey bait series. First one we built the male perch color. Last week was bluegill. This week we are going to build a color, and I'm actually going to kind of steal this from KVD and Strike King. It's a color called Summer Shad. And I've caught a ton of fish this time of year, summer into, late summer into fall with this summer shad color. So basically it's, kind of a darkish, grayish, silver, gunmetal-y back, and into a, I'll say silver. It's not really white, but it's got white hints to it, belly color. So this is what we're going to do today. So what we're going to do first, we're actually going to build the swim jig. And I love this color. It's called blueback herring. Again, it's got the darker colors to it. It's got some of that, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it good, but I'll show it to you as I'm building it. That blue-gray undertones, and of course that little bit of white belly with the silver and the blue pearl. So we're going to build the jig first. And then we're going to go outside in the shop and we're going to pour some plastics to match the Strike King Summer Shad. Great color though, by the way. So stick with me. Going to be a lot of fun today. Hey, welcome to Pirate Bait Company. Alrighty, gang. We're back. Let's get our jig set up. And we'll get to building this here swim jig. So I'm going to move you in closer. I'm sure you don't want to stare at my ugly mug the whole time I'm doing this. I scare myself in the mirror, so I don't want to scare you. Make some space here. We're going to get you pulled in right about here-ish, I guess. Get you up here a little. That should do her. Get our jig loaded in. Again, we're going to start out. This is a 3/8 ounce VMC hook swim jig head. Get her loaded up into our vise. If y'all have any questions, like a lot of guys are asking about the vise and what I use and why I chose this one, man, please throw them down in the comments. I love the collaboration between bait builders out there. It's really been pretty cool experience over the last, a few months or so that I've been doing this. See if I can get this camera right without it falling over and, creating a big disaster. Okay, so we're loaded up. Let's get our base thread on. So we start out with, it's basically just a white 210 denier. And when I say denier, what does that mean? Denier is the weight of the thread, by the way. So 210 to a 280 denier is a good weight thread for bass, any predator fish. Trout typically are on the lower side, like a 100 denier and up. So denier just means the weight of the thread. I use a nylon thread. I think it holds up the best. There's cotton threads out there, like the type you put in your sewing machine. I would not use those. They just don't hold up well to water, basically. So our swim jigs are 4 tabs. So we've got a back color, which is going to be a kind of a white with that black scale pattern, has a little bit of pearlescence to it. Accent colors are going to be, this is that blue with that gray color tab. And our belly colors are going to be, we got a white, basic white pearl. And then we got a pearl with a little black flake in it. So as always start with the bottom. So just get this started, we'll roll this over. We'll get our bottom tabs put on. So let's get our bottom. So we're going to start with the, I always start with the lightest color on the bottom, then work my way to the dark color on top. So we're going to start, this is our pearl with our black flake. Get that rolling first. And again, we just, we want the front part long, the back part short, because we cut all this off so it doesn't interfere with our trailer. We put a little clip on that just to hold it in place. Alrighty. Just going to give her a couple wraps. So that's our first bottom color. And again, my swim jigs are four tabs of color. My regular jigs are only 3. I build them a little bit different because I run regular jigs. It has the upper layer and the full bottom layer, so 3 is plenty to fill out that jig. A couple extra wraps around it so I can get the other colors added. Alrighty, let's do our side and accent colors next. So we're going to take a half a tab of this white. So basically what I'm doing is just taking this tab. And some guys they count the strands to make sure it's perfectly even. Last I knew, fish couldn't count, so they're not down there saying, oh my God, you got 10 strands on one side and 12 on the other. I'm not biting that thing. So anyways, so I just take this, I just break it in half. Whoops, we're hung up on the hook. If that were a game show, I'd never be able to do that. Anyways, break it in half. So now we got 2 halves. And we're going to do the same thing with this gray-blue color. Just roughly get her in half. Just like that. And what I like to do, this one, it's a little bit, not critical, but maybe it's just me being a little picky. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. Let me get myself set up. So when you put this over, what I want to have happen is when this, come on now, what do you got going on here, Tim? There we go. When this lays over, I want this gray part to be on top. So that means, let me do it again and show you. So that means the white is on the top and this blue-gray color is on the bottom. So basically what I'm talking about is when this is coming through the water, it's going to lay this way, and this blue-gray is going to be on the outside and the white will be on the inside. So just a little detail that I like. Again, we're trying to imitate that summer prey bait. As I said, fish will be more apt to have darker colors in that summer in the late fall. And the goal here is, we get I call them summer prey bait, but these colors are going to translate into the fall. And this is what you want to be throwing in the fall, because these colors, again, will carry over and those bait fish are going to move up into the shallows into the fall. So you're going to want to take these summer colors when you're out fall fishing. So let's flip it around and we'll get the other side done as well. Same deal, we got 2 halves. We got the white and this gray-blue. And let's see if I can get this right here the first time. So we want the white on the top, so when it folds over, the gray goes from being the bottom to the top. So put this up just onto there. And again, we're just covering the sides and a little bit to the bottom because we got another 4th layer we'll put on the top. So let me just get a wrap on that tight, and then we'll get it into our clamp and get it in with the rest of these. And as I've said, I always twist forward and I wrap my thread that way. It keeps everything from rolling up on top of each other. We're just going to get a couple wraps on it. And again, I'm always wrapping toward the head. There we go. Put a knot in it. Yeah, we just need one at this point because we just want to hold things in place. Snug her down. Wrap her up. There we go. All right, now we're going to do the top color. So there we go. So we got the 4 colors. Well, it's 3 so far. We got a 4th one coming. And here is our top color. So again, this is going to be the black flake, black scale, and that kind of clear blue iridescent color. Let me see. We're going to fold it in half. Because again, we want this really to stay on top. We got all the sides filled in and the bottom. We want this to be our top color. So let's get her folded up here. And again, what I'm doing, and I'll show you this here in a second, is when this folds over, again, I want the black scales to be up. So that means the black scales start down on the jig, and then when it's coming through the water, they folds up this way. So let's get that snugged down and tightened up. It's just some little details like that that I think make a hand-tied jig all that much different and better. Um, you know, do the fish really know? I don't know. But here's the thing. Fishing is 90% confidence. I was watching last night Justin Hamner on Mercer Live podcast. And this guy is like, obviously won the Classic. He's leading angler of the year so far. And with him, it's all about confidence. And I think that's what makes the biggest difference in fishing. At least for me, I mean, when I hand tie my baits, I am confident that if the bait is exactly what I want, made the way I want it, and it's going to be presented the way I want it. So that gives me just that much more confidence that I'm able to catch fish on it. Alrighty, so now I've got all our strands in place. Let's snip this off. I'm going to throw another clamp just around here to keep all this together because I'm going to put my adhesive on those threads to get them locked in. And again, this is a UV thin because I want to penetrate down into those threads. And one thing I did find out about the UV, and I'm working on changing this, the light we use, you've got to maintain the battery level. I was having some, when I was building some of these, I noticed some of my weed guards were coming out and my batteries were getting dead on my light. So I had to go back and redo a bunch of jigs because my batteries were going dead on my light. So I'm trying to find a good light that I can plug in. So I'm doing some research. But for now, I'm burning through a bunch of Duracell batteries. That's all right. So yes, I just put in a fresh set of Duracell batteries before I cure this. Let's get our light on it. And again, we've got a fresh set of Duracell batteries. Gonna cure this baby up. But these UV lights, they just burn a lot of juice, man. They draw batteries down quickly. So I can tie about a dozen jigs sequentially. And then I got to change batteries. It's just safe that way. So, and you can kind of start to tell because if, you do this and it still feels tacky or sticky, your batteries are going dead. So if you do that and you come out and it's like that, it's like there's no tack to it at all, you're in good shape. Alrighty, so we got that part of our skirt done. So let's take this off. Now we're going to trim it. Alright, that should be good. Again, I just want that skirt material to be away from that bait keeper. So when we put our bait on, this keeper is doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, now here we're going to take our, this is the heavy gel UV and create that head that's going to bond all these skirt ends together, create an incredibly durable head on here that will hold everything in place. So that's probably enough. I'm going to spread it with my little spreader tool here. Just spread it around. Alrighty, let's bake that with our light. Get her cured up. Alright, yeah, we're good there. Perfect. That's exactly what I mean, man. You can touch it and it stays like that. It's cured up good. Alrighty, so here we go. That's why I got this. Let's just trim this stuff here off a little bit. We'll trim it again, but for now, get that trimmed up. Put her back up this way. Hopefully y'all can see that. We're going to put some eyes in it and a weed guard. So yeah, here we go. So that's kind of what we have so far. So let's just get all this pulled down. Make sure we don't get any adhesive on those skirt. Put our little clamp in place. All right, let's get some eyes going on this bad boy. So these are just little silver eyes, 3D. And I do this in a two-step process. So we'll stick the eye on. And you guys know if you ever put eyes on a bait, the sticky stuff on the back isn't really that great. So I do take a little bit of this UV cement and I'll put it on here, just a little drop. And I'll take my tool and I'll just kind of run it around and I seal it into the jig head itself. And this just helps keep that eye on so that, you don't catch one fish and the eye, comes off. Cure it up with our light. So it's durable and it cures very fast. You just got to keep a good supply of, if you have that particular light, batteries. So there, we'll get a little UV on her. Cure it up. Perfect. All righty, I got that done. Let's throw a weed guard on this bad boy. And we'll head out to the outside shop and we're going to pour us up some plastic. Let's see, where's my glue? Glue. Dab of glue on there. And again, that was just basically Gorilla Glue, Super Glue, gel. I find it works really the best. Jam that baby in there. Come on now. There we go. Perfect. Just gonna let that cure up a little bit. Alrighty, paper towel. All right, let that set and cure before I undo it out of there. Put that away. Put my glasses back on so I can see something. Alrighty, let me get you readjusted here. Alrighty, gang. So here's what we got. That is our swim jig. I'm not going to undo the skirt yet. I want that super glue to sit for about a minute or so because I don't want to get the skirt material into it. But now we're going to go outside. We're going to pour up some plastic. What we're trying to do, as I said, we're going to try and imitate this. It's called Summer Shad Strike King. Let's go out into the garage and we'll get this plastic poured up. So hang with me. I'll be right on back. Alrighty, gang, welcome back. We're in the outside shop now. And as I said, what we're trying to do is pour plastic to match the Strike King Summer Shad. I'll be honest with you, I had to come out here ahead of time to pour this because it's really a pretty complicated color. You look at it, there's hues of brown, there's silver, there's gold, there's an olive color. So I had to come out here ahead of time and did play around a little bit with some colors just so I could get it close. But I think we're kind of there, so there's still that opportunity for either a triumph or a train wreck. So I got some plastic heating up. Stay tuned. Let me get that warmed up, and then we'll start playing with some colors and see what we got. So hang tight for me. Alrighty, welcome back. We have our plastic heated up to our desired temperature of 350, and we're a little hotter than 350, which is okay. So you do a little adjusting here. Whoa. Good enough, you don't want to look at me anyways. So anyways, our top color, we're going to start with MF non-bleed olive. I think is going to be a good starting point to get us to this base color. So we're going to do 20 per cup, but we're going to only do 3 cups. We're going to do 3 cups belly, 3 cups back today, which is a little less than a half a cup. So we're going to go with 60 drops to start us out. 3, 4, right about there. Usually I use my syringes, but so this is going to give us our base. I think it looks a little light, but that's going to be a good starting point. We've got some other colors we're going to add. This is actually a pretty complex deal, man. All right, so that's going to give us our olive non-bleed. And then we're going to add a color called marsh grass. I'm hoping to get out of this color. It has a little green to it, but also it has, you'll see this back of this bait, it has sort of a gold flake to it. And marsh grass is going to give us that. So we're going to add about 30 drops of marsh grass. All right, we'll start there with marsh grass. Has a little green to it, which is okay. It also has that little bit of gold flake that we're looking for. And as we're adding these like greens, you'll see I'm going to add one that has a little blue to it. It tends to lighten up that olive, so then we'll come back with some brown, hopefully bring it back down again. Next color we're going to add is blue craw. The reason I'm adding blue craw, if you look at the size of this bait, you'll see that it has like a blue shimmy to it. So I'm trying to emulate that by using the blue craw. The blue craw also has some brown in it too, so it's going to help carry that olive and be a little bit darker. So let's get this shaken up. We're just going to start with 5 per cup, which is 15. Again, I don't want to overdo it because I can't take it out once it's in there, so let's just start with 15 drops and see where we go. That's 15. And again, I'm just hoping this is going to pick up some of the blue sides of that bait. And it also adds a little more brown depth to it. Alright. Then, now to bring it back down to that more olive color, we're going to add the basic brown back to it. That's going to add that color depth back. And it's only going to be 3 drops per cup, so we'll start with 9, make it an even 10, and then see where we go from there. But yeah, it's taken me a little bit to even get to this point. Tried a bunch of different things, and if this doesn't get us there, I've got some other little tricks up my sleeve as well. But let's start here anyways. So what did I say, 10? 8, 9, 10. But I think this is going to get us in the proverbial ballpark. And then I've got my little tester. We'll pour some in the tester and then see what it looks like. From a flake perspective, you'll see this bait's got a little bit of purple violets in it, if you can see that. So we are going to add a small amount of purple hex 0.015. And we're just going to do, oh, there it is. Typically I do a 1/4 teaspoon per cup, but we're just going to start with an 1/8 teaspoon per cup. So we're going to add 3. Let's see where that takes us. And again, the trick is to get that olive brown silver color. And oh! It's a good reason you should be wearing gloves when you're doing this. That was a good fucking burn. Probably the worst I've been burned so far. test and see where we are. It's crazy, you can see my skin it's kind of gross, but I wonder what that's going to look like when it... Alright, let's see what we got here. So this is the one with just a little bit more brown added to it. As you can see, that's not too terribly bad. But I do think, let me show you that real quick. You can see that on top of there. That's not bad. We're getting close, but I think that little bit of that antique silver is going to pull out some of these silver highlights in here. Add a little touch of, I have some gold, just a little bit. So that's a 16th. So usually I put in for a cup. Let me just add almost an eighth and see where we go with that. Yeah, I think that's money right there. A little bit of silver. A little bit of gold highlight.